So I'm gonna make a video about Zastava M91 changing the sighting system from the Russian time PSO. It's actually POSP for power scope here, and I think the rifle is more capable than just 4 powers scope. Scope is offset to the side. I'm a left-handed shooter. I'm not a big fan of that. I'd rather have it more center on the bore line. So I came up with have a scope I use in the military. It's a Leopold Mark IV, 3.5 to 10 power with the M3 turrets calibrated for 308 round 7.62 by 51 NATO round with a cam for it. And I got this RS Regulate setup. So this is AK307M, the bottom part. Then you put the top one, which is RS Regulate AKR. And then I got Badger rings. You have to use high rings, otherwise it's not gonna clear the rail here. So these are 30609 Badger. Okay, so let's mount this. I run into the issue with this. All right, stop for a second. So this mount, it's a well-made mount, however, there is a problem with it. This screw needs to be precisely in this position. You can adjust it by moving this lever down and then moving the screw up and down. If you are misaligned by 1%, 2%, it's gonna be either too loose or too tight to put it on. Well, I got it just right. I mark it here with the marker. You slide it on the rail. It's supposed to fit all the Hugo guns. You tighten it. The scope is center nicely over the bore line. I went to the range. I zeroed the scope. And here is my results at the. I had to move about 20 minutes up and 14 minutes left. So I start hitting pretty nice group here, about half a minute groups with a 182 grain match grade ammo. But then the groups start opening up. And I'm looking, seeing what's happening to this thing, and I'm finding out that this is getting loose, this mount. The scope is just getting loosey-goosey on this thing, start moving around. And I run into the same problem over and over again. This latching mechanism is just not tight enough. That screw with the shock of the recoil moves and gets loose, and it's a quality mount, but it's just not, the design is just not there yet. I cannot have this rugged platform like this Russian-based AK platform for DMR rifle, and then my sighting system is getting loose with the recoil. So what I decided to do is actually accidentally I found this mount made by G&G, which is a very good company. I also use their bipod adapter, GNG. All right, this mount is supposed to be mount for AK, not for Hugo. And on the website it says specifically that it will not fit Hugo rifles. Zastava M70. This is GNG 1599 AK quick detach. However, I was just wondering if it would fit. So what I did, it actually fits really well. It's much higher than this setup. This latch seems much stronger. It's all one piece. doesn't budge at all, doesn't move. By the way, rifle is of course clear. Okay, so now we have a problem. This is higher than this system, but since this is higher, I'm just gonna use Badger instead of high rings. I have my Badger low rings. Which are standard height 36.08. So that should lower the whole system about 1/4 of an inch from the high rings. So I'm hoping I put this in and I'm gonna achieve about the same height as low as possible over the bore line. With the Badger standard rings. And this seems really solid. It doesn't move at all. This latch seems perfect. You cannot move it back and forth, adjust how far it is, but you can get the right eye relief here with the rings, setting them up and fitting the scope. Another beauty of this thing is, with this, of course, to clean the rifle, you have to take this off and then put it back on. I'm not a big fan of doing that. I know it's not supposed to throw it off more than half a minute, but nobody who was in the military likes to take off and put back on the sighting system. This is just not right. With this thing, what I learned, you can actually open the dust cover with this being on. Boom. You can clean the rifle and your scope, your mounting system is on. I like it. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna put these low rings on this system. And I'm gonna report back to you how this works. I think this rifle is a half-a-minute rifle with the right sighting system. This scope is just not good enough for such a good rifle. For power, I think with this rifle you can easily reach out to 1,000 meters. I did the com-ups work, so up to all the way to 600, all the way to 800 meters is identical to the our military 175 308 or 7.62 by 51 round. After 600, you're adding 1 or 2 minutes to 700 and 800. Just 1 second, I'll give the good comments. So I did the calculations. These are regular NATO round M118, 175 Sierra Match boat tail, and all the way to 700 meters to 600 meters are the same. It would be 18 minutes, and then there is a dispersion here on the PSO. On the Russian 7.62 times 54R, you have to add one extra minute at 700, 2 minutes at 800, 3 minutes at 900, and 5 minutes at 1,000. The BC for the PPU 182 grain is 0.555. The velocity about 2,500 feet per second. So all the way to 600 is pretty much trajectory is identical to the 175 7.62 by 51. So I'm gonna use the same cam here on the M3 turrets, and then you can just add a couple of minutes past 600 as you're shooting. All right, I'm gonna do this new setup with this G&G mount, and we'll see how this works. All right.